When I think of fall, one of the first things that comes to mind is When Harry Met Sally. Every time it starts to get a little cooler outside and the leaves start to change, I have to throw this movie on. Even when it's still 90 degrees in Texas, it'll help to put me in the fall mood. If you haven't seen it, it tells the story of Harry and Sally's relationship, going from their tense first meeting to their friendship, which eventually turns into romance. Not only is this the best fall movie, it's definitely the best rom-com ever, because romance and comedy are balanced perfectly, as are the characters of Harry and Sally. Unlike most rom-coms that came in the wake of this movie, which were geared towards a female audience and mostly followed a female lead, this movie pretty equally follows Harry and Sally, especially since most scenes are about the two of them having a conversation. This allows us as an audience to develop a pretty strong connection to both of the characters and their relationship with each other. It also helps that Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan have great chemistry together. They're 100% believable as a couple, and the movie wouldn't work without the both of them. Their chemistry is so good they had to change the end of the movie. Originally, the movie was supposed to end with them deciding to remain just friends, but director Rob Reiner and writer Nora Ephron decided it wouldn't be a satisfying enough ending, even if maybe a bit more realistic. You can't help but want to see the two of them interacting together and want them to be together. Both Harry and Sally are really well written characters. Harry could have easily been more of an asshole, and he is a bit of an asshole, but he's not antagonistic or misogynistic towards Sally. He's just cynical and self-deprecating. Billy Crystal's charm definitely helps. Sally also doesn't have any of the typical tropes of rom-com heroine. She's not a workaholic, she's not desperate for a man. She's totally opposite from Harry, which allows her to be his true equal. She knows what she wants and isn't afraid to push back against him. Like any real relationship, it takes two to make it work, so it was essential that they nail the main couple. Of course, they're given some pretty great dialogue to say.
Marriages don't break up on account of infidelity. It's just a symptom that something else is wrong.
Oh, really? Well, that symptom is fucking my wife.
Nora Ephron completely nails the different interactions between female and male friendships and romantic relationships. The banter between Harry and Sally is so entertaining and real. The script is so well written, you could listen to it by itself and not even have to see the movie and it would still work. Even after watching it so many times, I will still laugh out loud at this movie.
Jess, Marie, do me a favor for your own good. Put your name in your books right now, before they get mixed up and you don't know whose is whose. Because someday, believe it or not, you'll go 15 rounds over who's gonna get this coffee table. This stupid, wagon wheel, Roy Rogers garage sale coffee table.
I thought you liked it.
I was being nice!
The way Ephron portrays the differences between men and women in friendships is spot on too. Bruno Kirby and Carrie Fisher's characters are a big part of what makes this movie so good. In a lot of rom-coms, they would just be the goofy sidekicks, but they're actual characters in this, while still being very funny. They're able to expand on Harry and Sally's characters when they aren't together. The script in general is just very tight. There's no pointless antagonist, no drama around their jobs or family life. 100% of the focus is on Harry and Sally and their interactions with each other. It's just over an hour and a half, and it flies by. Sometimes a dialogue-heavy movie like this can feel meandering, without any real action, but this one has no wasted scenes. Everyone is like a puzzle piece that explains the relationship between the leads. I think the best way to describe this movie is warm. The colors of fall painting New York City, the charm of all the characters, the jazzy soundtrack, and the autumn fashion just make it so comforting. Speaking of fashion, Billy Crystal is wearing some heat in this movie. If you think it's unrealistic that he could get with Meg Ryan, all you gotta do is pair his fits with how funny he is, and you'll start to understand it. But also, like I said, the soundtrack is a big part of what makes this movie so cozy. And actually, just before I started recording this, I went out and bought the soundtrack on vinyl. This is one of those movies where the music is perfect match with everything else. Both the score by Harry Connick Jr. and the old love songs by the likes of Louis Armstrong, Frank Sinatra, and Ella Fitzgerald fit perfectly with this movie's version of New York, which is either full of orange-colored trees or covered in snow for the Christmas scenes, which makes this a movie to watch around then too, or on New Year's Eve. It's definitely a heavily romanticized version of the city, but one I very much want to live in. I also can't forget to mention the little interludes of all the old married couples telling the story of how they got together. They're real stories retold by actors and are all very funny and sweet in their own way. I think it's just another charming element that expands on the movie's whole point of the unconventional ways people find each other. Unlike a lot of the rom-coms that followed it, Harry and Sally are not typical movie star couple, where they're both unrealistically beautiful and make these grand sweeping gestures. They feel like real people, and most importantly, really good friends. When Harry Met Sally will always be one of my favorite films of all time. In fact, it's my most rewatched film on Letterboxd. I think I've seen it 3 times this year alone. Not only because it's so well made, but it's just a special movie to me, my girlfriend, and I see a lot of us in Harry and Sally. It's one we have to put on every fall without question, and I think you should too if it's not a tradition for you already.